Welcome, everyone. We are live. I've got my good friends, brother Bill from the UK and sister Wendy on with me tonight. And we're talking about a bit of a heavy topic tonight when it comes to the topic of Down syndrome and abortion. Of course, we take the position that, the sanctity of life, that we're all made as image bearers and that we reflect God's glory in our being. At least that's what, we should be doing as the light of God within us. But as a lot of you guys know, some of you may not, but there's Jesse and Ashley Ridgway, kind of these YouTube influencers who basically are sharing their lives for the whole world, and they are the wife gets pregnant, and she ends up finding out allegedly that her baby at 4 months old is Down syndrome. At least that's what the test markers show. And so we want to talk about that tonight. And just for those of you tuning in who aren't familiar with this and what this topic is about what's been going on in the social sphere, I just want to share one short, maybe 1 or 2 minute video to kind of set the context for you guys. So let's dive right into it with that. And here we go.
Jesse and Ashley Ridgway are facing massive backlash after revealing that they chose to terminate their pregnancy after learning that their unborn baby had trisomy 21, also known as Down syndrome. What shocked many people is that Ashley was already 21 weeks pregnant when the decision was made. The couple publicly shared their story and described the experience as heartbreaking and extremely painful. Jesse said that despite knowing some fans would disagree, he and Ashley ultimately believed it was the best decision for their family. But many fans were devastated. Across social media, thousands of comments appeared from people who said they strongly opposed the decision. Many argued that having Down syndrome does not make a person's life less valuable. Others shared stories about family members with Down syndrome, describing them as loving, kind, happy, and fully capable of building meaningful relationships and successful lives. Critics accused Jesse and Ashley of ending a life because of a diagnosis. Many said that people with Down syndrome deserve the same chance to live, grow, and experience the world as everyone else. Despite the growing backlash and emotional reactions from fans, Jesse and Ashley have stood by their decision. Now the internet remains deeply divided. Some people support the couple's right to make an incredibly difficult family decision. Others say they will never agree with the choice and believe the unborn child deserved a chance at life. The debate continues to explode online.
When I was 20 weeks pregnant.
All right, before we leave that and before I introduce my guests, I actually, well, you guys go ahead for a minute while I queue up this section. I want to go back and look at some of the comments from that same video. But let me just introduce really quick, Sister Wendy Lorraine from A Standard Bearer. She actually brought this to my attention this morning as a sort of emergency broadcast because of how horrific this all really is. And of course, I kind of had seen it here and there on social media, and I'm going, man, this is just awful. How can someone do this? But she really brought it to my attention as far as let's do a live stream on this. So Wendy, why don't you open us up why this is so important to you, why you brought it to my attention, and then Bill can jump in there too, and we can go back. And I just want to rewind that very short video and also show some of the comments that people, because this has really gone viral now.
Yes, it has. And there's a lot of things at play with this couple. It actually, and we'll get into this, but things are coming out that go back like 10 years to this series that he has done here on YouTube. But before we get there, another thing that has been brought out with this just tragic story of, I have to say it the way it is, with the murder of their baby, is before they got pregnant, their dog was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Mm-hmm. And they did everything they could do to prolong that dog's life. Now, I don't know if that dog is still alive today, but from what I have read, they were able to extend that dog's life for about a year. And so while they
very hypocritical,
right? Yeah. Well, they could have compassion for an animal, and I have animals. Okay. I have an animal that probably has another couple of years, and then I'm going to have to say goodbye to her. where do you place the value of a beloved pet above a human life?
Yeah, and
That's what people are. They're not getting on board with that, and they're pointing it out. And you're absolutely right, brother. It's absolute hypocrisy.
It really is. And I just want to say, I give a shout out to Nori Davis. Haven't heard from him for a while. I know he's been busy with family and life, and that's what today's stream is really about. But God bless, Nori. Good to see you, and I can't wait to have you on a stream. Before I have Brother Bill jump in on here, who just always has tons of valuable input to give, let's go back and share some of the comments from that very short video. And then maybe Bill can comment on some of that. So let me put this back on here. And I'm just going to forward this to the screenshots of the comments here. Here's one. And so one person says, this is a rather grim video knowing what happened. Another person, the fact this was filmed makes me believe this is just more fake series content. We'll get into the fake videos from Jesse where he staged an entire so-called reality show where he killed his own father, supposedly, but it grieved a lot of people. It upset a lot of people, but it just turned out that it was fake and for clicks and views, which makes me wonder what about this. But we'll get into that a little bit. And then some things, someone else says here, some things don't need to be filmed. Another person, imagine being aborted over a false positive. That does happen quite a bit. Someone else, disgusting. And then announcing you're ending your unborn child's life while monetizing it is demonic. So that's something else I really don't understand. The fact that they did all this very publicly and obviously monetized the whole series, the whole, all the videos about it. And it's, what are your thoughts on some of that, Bill?
Well, yeah, I personally, I don't believe it's fake. I think it's actually did occur. I think they did do it. It seems to be very fashionable at the moment to, infanticide, little ones and stuff. It's all the rage, isn't it? All the woke rage it is. I've even seen videos of where literally live on news, a woman that was pregnant took the morning after pill and killed the baby there and then on the news. So this isn't like Twilight Zone stuff. This is like almost like, it's acceptable now. It's acceptable. There's lots of things, really lots of things I want to say, like, the person you read out said false positives, etc. That's true. 50% when they take the amniotic fluid and they check, is there going to be a problem? Is there not going to be a problem? 50% of the time, there's no problem, and but the problem is, they take the fluid and say, well, you've got 50% chance it's going to be down, it's going to be this, going to be that, and sadly, people just abort. Let's call it what it is. They murder the baby on a 50-50 chance. There's no accurate, amniotic fluid measurement that gives you 100%. It's a 50-50, or, the fluid says, well, it could be. It's almost like bloody tarot card reading, I'll tell you. Could be, might not be, etc. And, this hits home hard because when Teresa was pregnant with Lizzie, our youngest, man, she's getting old now. Like, man, she's like almost mid-20s already. They said, well, we want to take some amniotic fluid from you and see if it's Down syndrome, because if it is, then you can get rid of it quick. That was their attitude. It wasn't like, oh, just so we can let you know, yay or nay, so you can prepare yourself to live with a baby which has got issues. It wasn't that. It was literally, well, we'll let you know, then you can kill the kid, basically. So basically what me and the wife decided, we said, we don't want to know. We don't even want that injection. We don't want the test. We don't want nothing. And we said, que sera, sera. If God wills the baby is different by defect, who cares? The baby lives, and we have nothing to do. And I remember me and the wife took a strong thingy on that. And I think this is the problem with modern science. It's got some good things, this modern science and technology and everything else, and, you know, helping people with issues, you know, with medicines, etc., and operations. But there's also a very dark side, and that is the eugenic. Look, where Hitler failed, we're winning. Hitler wanted to get rid of all these, you know, things. You know, Hitler was a vegetarian. Hitler was an animal lover. Hitler was a superior racer. It was all these things. So where Hitler, you know, died, was killed, you know, it's as if we've took up the gauntlet and said, well, yeah, we don't like Nazism, but we agree with vegetarianism, global warming, killing mass infanticide babies. And again, I know I'm waffling on a bit because it is, I've got so much I want to say on this subject. It's embarrassing.
Oh, and we'll unpack it. No question. You know, Bill, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Yeah, the thought is, it's basically, you know, when I said we've got a hard choice to make, no, they haven't got a hard choice to make. That choice is, oh, do we have to cut back on social media, cut back on our monies because we ain't got time to make monies on social media, or spend that, you know, because we're going to have to spend time with a Down syndrome baby, or do we just kill the baby and it's all good to go? We can spend time making cakes, doing vlogs, plugging our thingies, monetizing our things, getting the merch out there. That's not a hard choice. With a normal, sane brain, the choice is simple. Life is more important than monetization, vlogging, and being like, you know, whatever, having an easy life. So,
yeah,
you know,
it's so true, because it just made me think what you were saying. My wife and I went exactly through the same scenario. I think it was with our fourth and fifth child, or do you remember? It was our fifth child with our last child. The doctors wanted us to do the Down syndrome test, and it was kind of shocking. I was like, what? I didn't even expect that they would even do that. My wife wasn't even that old at the time. It's not like we waited till our latter years to have, you know, the baby, but it was just kind of a routine thing. If you're over like 30 or 35, or I don't even, how old were you, Mary? I think she was 34.
Here, so that's how bad it is now. Yeah, because most people know that the older you get, like when you're pregnant in your 40s, late 40s, you know, kind of thing. Yeah, there is a chance at Down syndrome, etc. But no, it's nothing to do with that.
It's routine.
If you're 16 and pregnant, they give you they stick that injection in, suck out the umbilical fluid, you know, which could kill the baby anyway, and then say, oh, there could be a chance, and then advise you, not like saying, you know, they don't give you advice as if to say, well, be prepared because it might have an issue, might have this. They kind of say, well, there's a 50% chance that's Downs or something, so we advise you kill it. That's the routine here.
And like you and your wife, we did the exact same thing. I was shocked, and I was like, you know what? We don't want that test. I don't even want to know, because either way, abortion was not an option for us. But what was shocking is how far the nurses pushed it, and the doctor had to come out and have a talk with us.
Well, yes,
and try to convince us.
They look. Do you know what? When we both together blankly refused to have that, the shock on the doctor's face, like we was like Neanderthalic, like disgusting people.
Yes, exactly.
Talk about pressure and pressure. And someone who didn't have the faith, because we was Christian, who didn't have the faith, was confused, having issues probably in relations and, you know, parental issues or whatever. I mean, they're going to be tipped over, and there's a 90% chance they're going to abort. Yeah,
I think the average person, I mean, you know, most people are not thinking from a Christian perspective. There's a lot of social pressure. They're thinking of like the medical costs, which, by the way, I looked up is not as much as you would think if you have insurance, at least in the United States, you might have like $100 out of pocket a month. I think they were saying that the greater challenge was that maybe if you're a 2-income family, one has to, take time off work to take, more, give more time. And so it's not that like there are challenges, of course, to raising a Down syndrome baby.
We're not promised a rose garden in life. People of this generation not us, but especially the generation we're looking at, are brought up and think the world owes you a living, and it's got to be good, and whatever keeps us going, so it's good. Any obstacle, we just kill or get rid of. And life isn't a bed of roses. Life is hard, especially if you don't want to be morally repugnant. If you want to be morally repugnant and just go with the flow and whatever, kill the baby, because what's more important, making money of videos making bloody cakes or killing a baby? And these people have said, well, hard choice. Not really. There's no choice. They've had to choose between making cakes and money or killing a baby. That should be, in a normal, sane human being, that's not a choice. But for these people, they're so brainwashed in a woke system, they think it's a choice. There's no choice.
It's so sickening. It's so sickening.
Right. And of course, the backlash has been severe. And I don't know, Afshin, if you're going to show some of their response. I have the written response. And it's like they're almost just shocked because they're like, they're acting like their parents that have lost a child to, death after born, like SIDS, or when, the woman has a miscarriage, that's a loss. I've experienced personally a miscarriage of a baby. I know what real loss is like. But if you make the choice, because you've had, these medical tests that, like Bill was saying, more times than not, they're it's like a false positive. To me, you don't have a right to say I lost a child. No, you had a choice.
Yeah,
you chose to kill your child.
Well, they as we're going to go through some of the videos, maybe that's a good segue for that. But they actually play the victim.
Yes.
So they really do.
Disturbing. That's disturbing.
It's very disturbing. So why don't we do this? That's a good segue for let's watch. It's about a 9-minute video. I'm going to speed it up. We're not going to watch like a whole 9 minutes straight. So if you guys want to comment on any portion of it, let me know. I usually go up a little faster on the speed, and but let me know and we can comment. And then I'd love for you to share some of their responses, Wendy, that you found from their own social pages to show what kind of a victim mentality they have when the only victim in this case is their poor little innocent, helpless, defenseless, the least of all, right, of the baby that we're supposed to be protecting. And of course, I want to come back and share some Bible verses as well. We don't want to forget that. But let's jump into a little bit of this video. This is the sort of viral video that they shared. What I don't get, and let's start, and then we'll get into the discussion.
Dark, dreary day, guys. I just had a full body MRI. That's not what this is, but I literally pulled in. I was like, get the camera ready. It's right before Memorial Day weekend. We got the results back. These are the fish results, they're called. They're just like temporary. It basically gives you like a yes or no. Like it gives you an answer without we don't need the details. We pretty much have to. We don't even know if we're gonna hear back right now. It's later on a Friday. We got called and I was away, and we wanted to do this together. It's a big deal. If we don't get her now, we're gonna have to wait the 3-day weekend and not get an answer till Tuesday.
You might want to fast forward because it's several minutes. When it actually comes through, because I think they end up having to wait the whole, because I was watching this too. They have to wait the whole Memorial weekend, I think.
Yeah, no, I definitely will. What I want to point out before even going further is, why are they even posting this?
I know
publicly?
It's like this is private. It's one thing because they're influencers to say, hey, we're pregnant, we're having some tests run, but to keep that part of their life private.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean,
they don't know any better. They don't have any common sense.
yeah, it's crazy. Let me play a little bit for the context, and we'll definitely skip parts that are not relevant.
I'm waiting for you to get home.
She's like pretty much 4 months pregnant right now. So there's a lot riding on this. It's high stakes. We're going to find out if the baby has Down syndrome confirmed or the baby's normal and it was a false positive. That's a scary thing, guys. We both feel like it's going to be good news and the baby's normal, even though the odds were stacked against us. So like we will both be gutted if it is bad news. I'll definitely be, before I was able.
So basically, this is the part they're just going to call, and we can kind of talk through that because basically the doctor doesn't answer. But my point is, why, if it's one thing if you're just sharing, hey, good news, we're pregnant, we're excited about having this baby, but then you're waiting on the decision from the doctor as to whether it has Down syndrome. Shouldn't that be more of an intimate, private moment between husband and wife and your family? I mean, it's shocking to me that the whole thing is so public, and it's obviously for monetization.
Well, and that's why people are wondering if this is all a skit because of what he did 10 years ago. And
right. And there are videos, I'll share like seconds of the other ones because I really don't want to promote his past videos. They're pretty gross too. But the whole thing is just bizarro and shocking. But here they are now. So they couldn't reach the doctor, and they're waiting now for the to get the test results.
At this point, it's been a long month and a half since you guys saw us find out the gender and then that bad news. I didn't share this publicly, but we did have an ultrasound done around a month ago, and we looked at the NT, or the nuchal translucency or something. Basically, there's this like thin line on the ultrasound that denotes sometimes if the baby is more likely to have Down syndrome or not. Facial features, the bones, that NT looked normal, was within normal range. So we were like pretty happy about that. We did the amniocentesis just a couple days ago, and it was pretty extreme. They did injections into her stomach area. They stuck a big needle right into one side, and the baby actually rolled over into the...
Go ahead, Bill.
It's just so disturbing. Again, 50-50, like this is... The baby could have been absolutely normal. I'm not even excusing, even if the baby was abnormal, had the syndrome,
right,
keep the baby its life, but they're hitting a 50-50 here. Oh, everything else looked right. All the scans was everything else. Then they take an old defunct test to check the amniotic fluid, and the fluid said, well, maybe it's Downs. And they didn't even consider it for, oh, well, that's it. That's Down syndrome. Let's kill it.
Let's just kill the baby. It's amazing because, yeah, these tests are inconclusive. There are plenty of testimonies. One I'm going to share later after all this where mother was given the same prognosis, saying, yeah, you're going to have a Down syndrome baby. She kept the baby, and it turns out to be a beautiful, healthy, and even if it weren't, I mean, we are, do you kill it because it's inconvenient?
You don't kill it. You don't kill it.
Well, no, and the thing that's been brought out, which I'm sure, Afshin, you will get to this, is the Down syndrome community, parents that have raised a Down syndrome child, they're just beautiful, happy people. I mean, we've all seen Down syndrome people. I mean, they're just full of smiles and full of life, and it's like they don't even carry, like a lot of the sorrows and troubles and everything that we do. I mean, because their life is just, it's just simple, I mean. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's so different.
I've met, I've interacted with Down syndrome, teens. They were a teenager at the time, and they're just it was so much joy and happiness that they bring. And of course you have those challenges, and I don't want to butcher this. I'm going to read this off of like these statistics I pulled up, but I was looking into this, kind of their surveys on this from parents who have Down syndrome babies. And it says, despite the challenges, 99% of parents say they love their child, 97% are proud of them, and 79% say their child has made their life more positive. Most families say the love and joy, those are the two specific adjectives they use, the love and joy their child brings far outweighs the difficulties. So, I mean, what you're saying is exactly true.
Yeah, but basically, we're looking at, let's be honest, we're looking at a woke generation, a spoilt woke generation that thinks the world owes them a living, and because things, they take a sidewinder, that are not going to be able to do as many vlogs, not going to be able to bake their cakes, not going to be able to spend as much time on social media making the monies and selling the merch. Oh, woe is us. A hard decision. Spoiled, wicked generation. I'm not saying everyone of that generation is, but man, it's so telling, isn't it?
It's a very narcissistic.
I mean, yeah, you hit the word right there. Absolute narcissistic generation.
And isn't what this whole social media influencer push to share whether your baby, I mean, you're in a state of distress thinking, does my baby have Down syndrome? And they're like, hey, why don't we do a live stream on that tonight or today?
We can even monetize it. We can even monetize it and showing the baby, and then we can monetize killing the baby. Yeah, great. Yeah.
Right. And that's exactly what they do. And very quickly, I want to say this video is not monetized, by the way. I mean, we're not going to monetize Down syndrome and abortion. I don't need the $5 a month that I make from this channel. It's really not my source of income. But I have a comment from CJB34, and this is something we want to get into later in the stream because CJB34 says, and I love the Charlie Kirk profile pic, so God bless there, but says, doesn't Denmark want no genetic abnormalities in their society and they test all mothers or something like that? I think it was
I've heard that.
And then Iceland also.
Iceland too, yes.
The Norse countries, Sweden, Norway, Denmark. I said again, we're going back to Nazi eugenics. Perfect people. Eugenics to the max. And yeah, we fought, D-Day landings, we stopped Hitler's plan with eugenics.
Yes.
But we didn't. Fast forward a few years, they're adopting all these plans.
Right. It's monetized eugenics in this case.
Monetizing it now. Yeah, you're even making money out of mass implants.
Yeah, and in Iceland, they have gotten the Down syndrome levels to 0. And the way they've gotten rid of Down syndrome, and the way that they've been able to do that is by killing, aborting every single Down syndrome baby.
Yeah,
and so,
it's not by natural cause. It's not by right. Let's have children when you're young. Start a family young, like the scripture says, and have a family young, and then you have grandkids and great grandkids. Good wholesome stuff. They don't go down that route. They go down the route of, well, we don't care how old you are, but if you've got a slight impediment, we're killing the baby, so we have the superior race.
Yeah.
Man, sometimes I think the way we're seeing society now, Hitler actually bloody won. Excuse my French.
In some ways, yeah. I mean, these people, I mean, I hope they come to Christ and repent and come to Christ.
Of course they can.
But at this point, I mean, I look at them and I'm just like, these are not people I would want to know. It's really disgusting. But let's play a little bit more and we'll come back and talk.
The needle, it was terrifying. They then had to do a whole nother injection.
It was painful.
But thank you guys for all the support. And
the baby too.
I think we could be about to find out right now.
I know, I'm already crying. I don't know why.
When they did the amnio, they do it ultrasound guided. Now, a month later from our other ultrasound, this ultrasound, everything looked normal. Everything looked healthy.
They said everything looked normal. That's just not us just saying it.
Yes.
They said everything looked normal.
Also, one of the nurses said they have been seeing a handful of false positives from these tests. So there's another.
Wow. So they even
They're
knew
already told that a lot of these tests are false positive.
And just goes in one ear and out the other.
Oh my God.
This could be it. I don't know.
Did that seem staged a little bit? It's like, what time
she doesn't have.
So we tried to number doctor.
I think they edited the video.
Oh, I see.
You can see it stop and then it starts up because they would have started it back up once they heard back from the doctor. So
Good
they're not
point.
just on air for minutes and minutes and minutes.
Amen. Yeah, and I agree with Bill. I don't think this is fake. I think because what they stood to lose by aborting their baby like this publicly. I mean, they're either very foolish and stupid, which they are, but they've lost a lot of followers, and it's really had a big backlash. I don't think this is fake either. I really
the hospital
don't.
just sends all their stuff to LabCorp. I'm quite familiar with, because I've been doing a lot of testing myself through there. Can I get props though? I gotta get props for that. I mean, come on.
Oh my goodness.
I guess this is where we're doing it.
Bloody children.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is the problem with Western society, where life is so easy. You've got adult children. That's what they are, adult children, like kiss and peck, and let's kill the baby. That's okay. We'll make cakes. Like narcissistic baby adults. What the hell's the matter with these people?
It's all about them. It's really disgusting.
Prostitutes bled.
Hoping for good luck, just like we did at the casino.
What?
I'm scared.
Rub it for good luck.
Please.
At the casino.
I'm scared to hit it, to be honest. I'm very scared. So I don't know what, I guess we want to see negative, and that's a good thing. Like, I'm assuming it'll be trisomy 21 again, right? I mean, I don't know. No matter what happens, it'll be okay.
Yeah, it's even hit there. Going to be 21 again. Whatever happens, we're still adult children.
It's so sad. All you can do is I laugh when I'm shocked, when things are like, just to kind of cope with the insanity that I'm seeing.
Well, just the idea of sharing your entire every minute of every day of your life on social media.
Yeah,
I mean, it's different than sharing some videos of like vacation or pictures and stuff. But this is like, I mean, wow.
Yeah, it's tragic.
So I just hope this nightmare is over.
Here we go. We're going to see the result. I have to download the official report. Abnormal insight result. Consistent with trisomy 21? No.
Trisomy 21. That's the extra chromosome.
No.
For the marker for Down syndrome.
It says abnormal insight result. Blah, 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 showed 3 chromosome 21 signals consistent with trisomy 21 Down syndrome. Genetic counseling is recommended. Pattern consistent with trisomy 21.
Genetic counseling. Does that just code for abortion? We're going to basically tell you to abort the baby? Yeah. It's the euphemisms, right, Bill?
Oh yeah, even genetic, counselling. Man, this is like mentally ill. It should be just counselling and say, any normal human being would say, right, counselling, right, you're pregnant, your baby's, obviously, Down syndrome, obviously issues with the genome there, and here's some counselling. Here's places you can go to help you,
like specialized pediatricians that
and some resources.
Right.
Yeah, but it's coded. It's it's very eugenic language. It's very Orwellian. Genetic counseling, and then you've got like CRISPR technology and everything else that's on the horizon, where you can now select, the gender of your baby and the various traits of your baby. And so, this is all on the horizon. It's scary.
Well, it's already here in England. Again, I have to be careful what I say because I'm in England. Mm-hmm. But there's a certain group of people of a religion that I can't mention that had the test. And obviously, if it's a boy, good. Praise their whatever.
Allah Akbar.
Yeah. And if it's a girl, let's have an accident, and so the baby doesn't survive. Yeah. So that happens in Britain all the time anyway.
And we feel for you in Britain, brother. We're always sharing and talking about that. And the religion you can't name, I've started saying that from you, because even it hurts our algorithm to mention it. It hurts the views. You get shadow banned, not let alone potential threats from the outside of
I know it sounds weirdly perverse, but we're actually hoping that Trump opens the borders for English people, not people from drug dealing other countries, but opens the borders for English people to get out of this communist Nazi country, get out, and man, because it's almost unbearable here. I can't go into details because my channel will be gone. I'll get a knock on the door. I'll get arrested, and you won't hear from me for a year.
Well, we welcome you. We welcome you here in the USA. So let me know if you get to that point.
I mean, literally might come back very soon unless there's a miracle.
Well, the joke is that now, once Iran is free, God willing, it might take a few years, but they're going to open up they're going to give the UK and Europe refugee status from the.
I tell you, yeah, and I think that needs to. I mean, it's getting to the point now. A lot of the obviously social media and the elites are playing it down. No, this isn't a joke over here. Literally, right. If you're of Anglo-Saxon, I'm trying to be careful. Anglo-Saxon descent, you've had it. You've had it.
Yeah. Well, let's get to this back here because we're going to get shadow banned.
Ties into eugenics because we're the eugenics that this country doesn't want, and there's yeah.
I just don't know how you can do this live on air. Who's she crying for? I guess she's crying for her baby too, because she knows she's gonna have to abort it now. There's the dog they saved, perhaps?
I don't know. I've seen 2 dogs.
Yeah, it could be a different one. This one looks pretty healthy.
And to continue to film yourself, I mean, yeah, there's been videos, where I've cried, over something emotional, but this is almost staged where they know, okay, if this comes back bad, I know how I'm going to react. I mean, how can you do this? This is almost like narcissistic.
It's almost like they win either way in some sense. And I don't want to, gossip or, spread rumor or anything, but it's like what you're saying. It's like, even if the result is negative in the sense of being bad, they can have this emotional moment and this video will go viral and they get their views and their clicks. And that's exactly what happened. So they have, in their crazy narcissistic, way of looking at the world, this was a way to turn this around and, it's like a win-win. So, yeah. I can't imagine being this emotional on air.
But why? Again, the point is, why are they emotional? Because it's not because they give a shit about the baby. They're emotional because they're making a hard decision, making cakes or keeping a baby. What a hard...
Maybe they've made the decision already that if this is what it comes out to be. This is what we have to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, they've already made that decision.
It's already been made. They're getting emotional because they know, we have to, if we want to keep our vloggers, our followers on Instagram and keep our merch up and that lot, we've got to keep present on posting all the time. And if we've got a disabled kid, we can't do that. So, what a hard decision. Let's kill the baby. Mentally ill people.
Not the result we wanted to see, guys. I started to get kind of a not good feeling just when the results were sitting here. That's why I didn't want to open them. I started to feel really uncomfortable about it. Just kind of in shock, like truly. We talked before this, guys, about what would we do if we confronted this scenario, because this was the more likely scenario. We talked about terminating the pregnancy. Obviously, things could change because this was traumatic, like very traumatic. And I know you guys even watching this this is traumatic for the whole community. I think now that we have a definitive result, we'll talk with these counselors and we're going to have some hard conversations.
Typically, if the initial FISH result shows trisomy 21, the final full karyotype or microarray analysis also confirms it in more than 99% of cases.
It's just all very overwhelming.
I can see how so many people detest them and the levels of hate mail and hate emails and messages they've gotten. Maybe
Death
now's a
threats?
good time, and death threats. I mean, I'm not saying they should be getting death threats, and
No,
we don't want
no.
to promote incite violence, but I can see why, so many people have reacted the way they have to them.
And confusing to navigate. Ashley's almost halfway through this thing. Not saying we force it, but like the kid seemed healthy, and there's been stories of where the kid comes out and is like super functional, and so it's like I don't know. There's a lot.
So how do they know that? It seems like he has awareness of the fact that it's 50-50, and the results can be false positives and people have healthy babies, yet they're still like, they've made up their mind. They've already made up their mind.
Well,
Wow.
it's almost like the mentality, because abortion is just rampant. Like, it's just like, okay, well, just get rid of the baby. We can have another one. And people have been commenting about, how, well, I've already picked out the nursery and blah, 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 like,
Just
it's
delete
like,
it
well, if
and
I get a
start
bad
again.
haircut, my hair can grow out again. Like,
Wow.
like it's not really and very possibly they don't even believe that the baby is a real life until like much later on. I mean, they probably don't even believe in life at conception.
Yeah, there's that whole false view of it's not really a baby until it's out of the womb, which is a crazy view that even some like heretical or just weird type of Christians have taken, linking that with, Genesis, when God breathed life through the nostrils into the man, or God breathed, life into the man, and he became a living being, a living soul. Well, that was at the moment of creation, when God was creating man out of dust. It wasn't, the ongoing, propagation of human life, where now that process is, the baby is, it's automated at that point, and the baby is getting oxygen from the umbilical cord. So from the moment of conception. So it's not that life begins at birth when you breathe God's breath. It's that baby is getting God's breath from the womb. And that's why you get, Jeremiah, and, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Right. So it's all there. But why don't we finish this? Going only a minute or so left. And if you want to get some of the comments that you wanted to share, their response, let's hear from what their response to all the criticism and the hate that they're receiving. But I'll go ahead and finish this off here.
A lot to digest, and we're not really going to be doing that in this video. We just wanted to let you guys in on what the results were. Where's your head at? It's sad.
It just got way more scarier now. I have nothing else to say.
Well, guys, we're going to take some time.
I want to feel bad for her, but it feels like crocodile tears, and it feels like over dramatized for the purposes of the camera. If this was off camera, I might, I would have a different opinion of it. Just my impression. I'm not, I can't be inside her head, but that's my impression of what's going on here.
Time to process this and figure out what's going on. If we're a little radio silent for a bit after this comes out, hope you understand, you'll know why. Just things have been pretty dark for a while for us, and we thought this was going to be a nice little ray of sunshine, and it's not. Sorry to be crying, dude. It's a lot.
Oh, man.
And I'm not saying her emotions aren't completely
I
real,
was so sure that I'm singing.
but who is it for?
I was ready.
So, me,
It was
me.
for her, right? It's the grief for herself.
I was ready. Isn't that what she says? I was ready.
Right.
She's the focus. She's the object of her tears.
The start of our journey,
Our journey.
Trying to start a family. This is how it starts.
A lot of people, it's not easy ever, whether it's a miscarriage out the gate, or something like this, or can't even get pregnant, like she said. I mean, I know it's hard to look at like silver linings, but I mean, the fact that you can get pregnant is good. We weren't sure. And it was instant. We don't know why this happens. Maybe it is a birth control over a decade. Maybe it is just random genetic sequencing.
Over a decade, that can mess with your body, couldn't it? I don't know if there's direct, causation between that and Down syndrome, as he's conjecturing, but definitely you get the hardening of the line of the lining of the uterus, so that the baby can't implant. When there's fertilization of the egg, the birth control pill acts as an abortifacient. And that now fertilized human life can't implant in the uterus. There's effects of that. So
glitches, just like cancer cells. Like sometimes it's just we don't know. So I'm gonna kill the camera. Love you, Jay, to death. We'll get through this, and well, you.
Okay, so
there's their dog that died. Did you?
That was the one. That was the one.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. I've got another video, but I want to share. Let's talk a little bit. And I also want to get, if you want to share those, I think you said, Wendy, you had some Facebook comments?
Because I found their interview that they had with TMZ. Did you have have that video?
I have that next. Yes.
You have that one. Okay.
Yes.
But now let me read you. Do you want me to go ahead and read their original post when they let everybody know? I mean,
Can you share your screen so we can see it with you?
Yeah, let me do that here. Share screen. Okay, let's see here.
And while you're getting that, just me, Teresa's 34. I had 2 miscarriages. The first after I felt the baby move, I would give anything to see their little faces. So I'm so sorry to hear that, sister. And it's tragic. It's, you could see in your heart-wrenching comment that you would do anything to have an opportunity to share your life with your baby, whereas these sadly narcissistic people, and they are lost. I don't want to, while everyone is coming down hard on them and they should be socially shunned, I'm not saying they shouldn't, but the hope is that they will see the error of their ways, repent, and come to Christ, because nothing is unforgivable. Maybe people don't want to hear that right now because of all the emotions surrounding this, but, on a human level, I mean, we have sympathy towards everybody, and we want them to be saved, despite such a grievous error on their part.
Okay. I do have it up. I think you have to add it to the,
there it is, Wendy.
Do you see it?
Yeah. Are you able to zoom in at all on your screen? If not, that's okay. There you go.
Is that better?
That's better. Yeah.
Okay, so this was June 3rd, okay? This week, my wife and I made the very difficult decision to terminate the pregnancy due to trisomy, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, 21. The choice was not made lightly. We really appreciate all of the personal stories that you guys shared with us, especially the unconditional support we receive from fans no matter what we decided. I know some of you may be very disappointed to hear this news. We are devastated. This has been extremely traumatic for both of us, especially Ashley. She underwent the procedure earlier this week and is on the mend. Thankfully, everything went smoothly, but emotionally, we are drained. It's also known as Down syndrome. It is caused by an extra chromosome. It is caused by an error in cell division, like a glitch. Like they just discard their baby because it's just a glitch. The odds of having a baby having it is 1 in 1,000. When I first confronted this news, I was shocked but optimistic. If they're a little slow intellectually, then we'll make it work. I signed on to be a parent, come what may, but I just didn't fully understand what Down syndrome entailed. Once we made it public, it became clear that most people don't know what Down syndrome entails, and no, it's not the same as autism. 50% of babies with DS have heart defects, 75% will have hearing challenges, over 50% will have vision problems, impaired immune function, developmental disabilities, learning disabilities, delayed physical development, poor muscle tone, structural issues with face, decreased lifespan, etc. Sadly, the list is long. Feel free to look it up. Down syndrome isn't a
Well,
blessing.
not for her, obviously. It is for all the
Right.
parents that have kept their babies. Like I quoted those statistics, 99% say they love their babies. 97% say they're happy with their decision and that they bring, and then something like 79% say they bring joy and love to their family. I mean, it's bizarre. Okay.
At the end of the day, that's all bullshit. You could give birth to a healthy child and they grow up and get hit by a lorry. They're still dead or get ill and die. You know, this is life. It's
bullocks, as you say, right?
Yeah, absolute spoiled bloody people assuming let's give birth to a blue-eyed, blonde-haired, handsome boy that's going to live to 101, then we keep the baby. But if it isn't there, if it isn't that statistic, let's kill it. What a spoiled attitude. Yeah, 50% they could have heart defect. There's 50% they might not.
Right. And those are treatable, you know, like most people. I don't have health insurance, by the way, but I think most people do in the United States anyway, because they get it through their jobs. I'm self-employed, so I don't want to spend the money on like the tens of thousands of dollars on that. But most of those procedures are covered for the most part. And I just want to, I pulled this up. I'm just going to read this while we're looking at these comments because I don't want to butcher the information. But it says kids with Down syndrome often face more medical issues, need frequent therapies, and can have more tantrums and meltdowns. But these behaviors usually come from frustration because of communication difficulties or sensory overload, not because they're bad kids. So with patience and the right support, these struggles often improve over time. So, you know, people like have this view that Down syndrome babies are hard to handle. And of course, we're not going to sugarcoat it. It is a challenge. But all of these medical, you know, issues are treatable. Some have to have surgery, some don't. It's not a sure thing. And then this, you know, thing about the frustration with the behavior, it's because of difficulties or sensory overload. It's not like they're just inherently bad. It's the medical condition they're dealing with. And once you have the patience and the knowledge to deal with that, you know, it makes it manageable. It makes it, at least according to the parents, you know, again, it says, despite the challenges, 99% approve, want their children, are glad they didn't abort their children. They're proud of their children. They bring more love. You know, something about Down syndrome kids, they're so, you always see them like happy and smiling and like laughing and just bring a ray of light, right?
But even the point, my wife's mate, you know, in regard to our eldest daughter, Sarah, they said she's not going to live to 13. They said that. Statistically, she's not going to live to 13. Oh, get rid of her. Kill her. Abort her. Kill her. She's now 38. Load of bullshit. And again, this is why, you have slight indicators with medical science and amniotic fluid tests and everything else, but completely they take away God out of the equation. They take away the miraculous out of the equation. They take away family out of the equation, love out of the equation. Everything human, anything goodly or godly is taken out of the equation, and they give you a load of figures and say, right, according to our statistics and our, you know, almost AI figures, kill the baby.
Shocking. It's so shocking. And it really comes down to, it's just an inconvenience, right? It's which shows they're not in the right maturity level to have a baby. So there's that argument, but does that mean you murder the baby? And one thing about having a baby, when I had my first child, and I think this has been the experience of most parents, they mature. That's when you do mature. That's when you stop being narcissistic. Your entire worldview The way you look at yourself and the rest and the world around you completely changes. It's
you
just
become
like miraculous.
selfless instead of selfish.
Amen. Amen. It's really true. And if they had just hadn't bought into the propaganda, weren't so selfish and narcissistic to the point of, murdering their own child and then monetizing
Or
it.
never even had the test to begin with.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
see it as a gift from God, and this is a blessing.
How many babies that were perfectly healthy and normal have been aborted, because of that test, especially in Iceland, apparently, like we talked about. But here's the TMZ video. We can share this also. It's about a 5-minute video. And let me put it at the right speed here. This is their interview after they received the backlash that they did. So we're kind of going in progression and narrating the story of what's happened here. But if you remember TMZ, I just want to give a little background and context. These two guys, if their faces look familiar to you from TMZ, this is when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and there were people in their studio that cheered.
Laughing.
Do you remember that? And then
yes.
they try to cover it up by saying, "Oh, it was just a car chase that we were laughing at, and it was bad timing." I don't know what's so funny about a car chase, but it was, I guess we can't know for sure, but it was pretty clear where their allegiance and their sympathies lie. But I just want to give you that context. And these two guys came out defending their staff and their decision to laugh. They were lying about it, in my view, and that's my personal opinion, that they were lying about it, and that the newscasters or the people working for them knew exactly what they were doing and laughing at the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So that's the context. These are the people that now want to come and interview them from a position of sympathy. So let's take a look.
It can take unexpected turns that can really be emotionally gut-wrenching.
Let me rewind it, actually.
Sometimes when you record your lives in real time this way, it can take unexpected turns that can really be emotionally gut-wrenching. And I'm just wondering how you feel about the fact that you now have this all recorded, you've posted it, and it lives with you. I'm wondering what your reaction is about all that.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. I've been doing content for 20 years now. For the first half, it was a lot of fictional stuff like series and whatnot. There is an not unexpected, but just a harsh turn in being so vulnerable on camera and sharing it. You open yourself up to scrutiny. And with this topic, we really wanted to let people in on our excitement to be first-time parents. And, we're met with the news, and we felt we still needed to be transparent with our audience. And then it's taken on a life of its own outside of our bubble.
And I feel like sharing what we have, thus far is something I will never regret. I don't regret, sharing our truth and our journey to starting a family.
I will say it was really difficult to watch both of you just break down for several minutes
a bunch of bozos.
The test results. Did you ever think about you could be transparent in telling your audience, your followers?
Can I just interject a second?
Absolutely, please do.
Even that they are being so disingenuous, talking about starting a family. They never started a family. They killed the family.
Yeah.
They didn't even start.
Yeah.
Profound. How they're playing on that. They're twisting and playing. Very naughty.
Well, as you're going to see, they're going to really start to play victim here. And this is what TMZ is very good at doing,
Without showing them you actually opening the test results. That was the part that just felt, I felt like it was invasive. Like I shouldn't be watching this pain that this couple is going through like this.
Which, he's right about that.
We did, but
He is. Yeah. Why did they do it? One thing is
that's a private moment for just those two. And then if they choose to share that result later after they've had time to compose themselves, then that's a different story. But they made this whole thing belonging to everyone, and it doesn't belong to everyone.
Exactly. Exactly. And then they're shocked and outraged and playing the victim that why are people, mad at us? Why are people, sending us negative emails? And why is there such a big backlash in our, in our time of vulnerability and all of this? So,
Well, it's called the virtue signaling, right?
yeah.
You've heard that term, virtue
Oh
signaling?
yeah. Especially during the other time period that we can't mention.
But if, with this is such a common thing that happens, and I feel like if you were a fly on the wall with anybody receiving any type of news like this, that we reacted the same as everyone else. We just decided to share it.
We really thought it was going to be good, so that's why we were filming it. But then after it
They
turned the
thought
way it did,
Well, they thought the results were going to be
they thought,
good.
okay,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
right. Okay.
because I have to upload everything. I throw it into editor, and I'm just like,
Well, when it wasn't good, why did he edit it? And then imagine going back and editing it and saying, yeah, this will be a great video. Let's share this.
is this
Right. And if they
gonna
edit
be a
it, then they're making sure all these parts in this edited video shows just the emotional climax and her just sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. I mean,
Yeah.
if they're editing the video instead of just letting it play for however long it takes, they're in full control of what they want portrayed.
They didn't have to share that at all,
Right.
did they? And you could see the forlorn look on her face. And it really, again, my opinion, but it doesn't look like she's forlorn for the baby. She's forlorn for the backlash now she's receiving on top of it. Now, and I'm not negating the fact that, okay, any woman who has an abortion is going to feel forlorn just by nature of that she's, instead of caring for and raising her own child, protecting her own child in the womb, that she's murdered it. I mean, just naturally, there is going to be a great emotional distress. We saw it when we'd go to the abortion clinics, back in the day when, mothers would come out and they were not happy, even though they thought it was, they're making that decision. There is a real level of trauma for everybody involved, but especially the baby.
Yep.
net positive or net negative, and I feel uncomfortable. She's bawling. We're emotional. It's so vulnerable.
So don't share it.
And then I thought that
what an idiot.
People aren't showing this ever because it's so hard and you open yourself up to the bad. But I feel like the world is almost lacking in that vulnerability with the death threats and everything. It has been shocking. Close people to us, very judgmental, religious based, saying we're
let's attack Christ as we're playing the victim.
I was waiting for that.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming, didn't you, brother?
I knew it was coming. Again, anti-Christian, woke people. Yeah. Of course, it doesn't matter. Don't want to believe in the sanctity of life or God or anything like that. Yeah. So blame those evil Christians who believe that every given child of God is precious. Let's attack those people. Unbelievable.
It really is. It's not unexpected, but it is unbelievable, isn't it?
It's just unbelievable. I mean, well, sometimes we're at a loss for words. And I think this is the point we're at a loss of words
that says a lot coming from you, brother, because you're one of the most eloquent people that I know. And I mean that in a very positive way.
I know, and I'm lost of words. This is narcissism to brand new levels. And I can't emotionally, spiritually, or mentally comprehend where they're coming from. I really can't.
Yeah,
as a human, as a robot, as an AI, as an empty vessel, I could comprehend. But as a holistic human being with a soul, a spirit, and a body, I can't comprehend what they're even saying.
I mean, look at their eyes. Look at their eyes. Like,
oh yeah, I mean,
you can see it. The darkness in her soul.
Yeah,
the shock.
Empty vessels. They're like literal bodies without a spirit. They're just empty vessels.
Yeah, I mean, they need their soul.
They need something.
Spirit.
Quickened is the word.
They need to be quickened. quickened by the Holy Spirit, which is my hope and prayer. You know, I didn't expect to come on this podcast or live stream tonight, and actually, it's not sympathy for what they've done, but I have some sympathy in that it's hitting me that, man, they are so freaking lost. Like they
They're
need
lost. They need Christ.
They need
absolutely
Christ.
Need Christ. Yes.
And I, you know, as evil as what they've done, I
Absolutely.
don't want to see them burning in the fiery flames of hell.
Yeah, and that's why I just want to quickly interject. I just want to let everyone know, you know, though I am silently furious that people see life as so insignificant to be cast aside, nonetheless, God's grace superabounds even the most wicked people. So these people here, abominable to me as a Christian,
Yeah.
Christ's love suffered at Calvary, you know, even that abomination, in my view, and no one is beyond the pale of salvation. So yeah, my throwing out there would be, believe on Christ. Christ can forgive. Christ can forgive.
Amen.
But we can't take away from the fact what they've done is an abomination.
It is an abomination. It's one of the 7 deadly sins of, you know, it's shedding God hates the hands, right?
Yeah.
The hands that shed innocent
blood. Yeah, God have said, you know, 7 are an abomination, and that's one of them. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, amen. But here we
burn in
go.
hell.
Oh,
you know,
here we go.
We deserve to die. You know,
I don't deserve to be a mother.
It's not that they're going to burn in hell just for this one act, and not just, but for this one act. It's that they are inherently sinful and they are inherently at enmity with the living God without the shed blood of Jesus Christ, right? So we want them, you know, we want to bring them into the kingdom.
Because of, you know, the decision that we just made.
Yeah, we had a
not
gate
because
installed.
of that one decision.
I have a gun next to my nightstand because it's been getting so ridiculous. And they're becoming to emails, DMs, you name it. It's been, we've seen the darkest side of humanity through this process.
Hopefully
they are the darkest.
They are. You yourself. And it's like they're blaming everybody else instead of looking in the mirror, putting the blame where the blame belongs. The blame belongs only to them because they made the choice to end a life. Nobody else made them choose this. They chose it.
Yeah.
And then everything works out. Are you going to be as transparent this time around as you were last?
I don't know. I'm still like living in this, obviously. So it's definitely something that we'll think about moving forward, but I never not want to be transparent.
Yeah, just how hateful it's become has definitely caused a bit of a shift in our vulnerability, but we want to keep pushing forward.
Aren't there some matters that you aren't supposed to be transparent about? Like I'm doing a Bible study. We have our family Bible study and we have friends that join, but we're going through the book of Proverbs and it's talking about how the wise will conceal a matter. It's the discreet, you know, will conceal a matter. It's not I'm not saying to like hide and lie. That's not what the verse is about, but discretion. You know, there's times when you share things publicly and there's times when it's a private family matter. So I just want to say like, what the hell are these guys doing? It's just abominable.
To me, it appears.
Pardon my language.
Right. It appears it's for likes and clicks and monetization because whether they, you know, and only God knows this intention, but even if they didn't intend for this to bring them money, they're making money off of this now.
They are, and they're continuing to as they go viral and become famous, and now they're on TMZ, and now they'll probably write a book or do more videos or whatever their next plans are. It's really
maybe even a movie called
right.
The movie called
he produces movies, and you know he's got a movie out. He's got a trailer, and I don't know anything about his movie, you know, but I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, and we'll play like 30 seconds of his older videos where he faked killing his father to go viral.
And I want to read a post before you play that because it helps set the scene.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll get to all that in a bit, and I definitely want to get. We'll even get some Bible next, but let's finish off this. Even though it kind of makes me sick, and I hate seeing those two clowns that are interviewing him, who defended laughing at Charlie Kirk when he was, killed publicly the way he was.
Forward and remember, that it is helping people, and for better or worse, the conversation that's being had online is one of the most important topics. Everyone wants is part of a family, potentially wants to start one, and this is something that
start one.
We're two perfectly normal people. We never imagined confronting having a child with Down syndrome, and you don't think it'll happen to you, and then it does, and you like to think you know what you do in that situation, just given the information that you know, but there was so much that we were unaware of and how hard it was.
And I really want to be here to advocate for all the women in my DMs. And, I feel for them and I see them, and we all relate to each other. And I just want to be that voice.
All
for
the
them
narcissists
to say,
relate to one another.
It's scary out there, but the more that we put ourselves out there and say that this is a normal thing that, we could talk about. And
it's a normal thing to kill your child.
I just want to help them in any way that I can.
All right. Stupid TMZ. Let's go to some Bible verses. I feel like we need a little bit of cleansing.
Yeah.
After that. I've got a couple that I pulled up, and then we have some positive videos that we want to share and a bunch of other stuff. But let me go to one of the first ones here. You can all see that. Okay. So Exodus 4:11 says, "And the Lord said unto them, Who hath made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb or deaf or the seeing or the blind? Have not I the Lord?" And, when it talks about the dumb here, it's not talking about mental capability. It's talking about not being able to speak, or being deaf, or not seeing, the blind. It's talking about disabilities, in other words, which, Down syndrome, scientifically, you could say it is a disability, and there's health issues that can come along with it. I believe it's a part of, the result of our DNA becoming corrupt after the fall. It's a reality of the fallen state that we live in, and God has turned that around into something very beautiful and graceful, and for families that do have Down syndrome babies. But this is the Lord God, right? Lord God Almighty saying, "Who hath made man's mouth?" Or "Who maketh the disabled?" Right? "Who maketh the dumb or the deaf or the seeing or the blind? Have not I the Lord?" So he's not saying go out and, this is going to be a bit inconvenient. And you have a right, you have a choice, and go kill your baby. He's saying, no, I made that baby. I formed them in the womb. So I thought this was a great verse for what we're talking about here.
Amen.
And then let's see, another one, Proverbs 31:8, and feel free to jump in at, on any of these, but open thy mouth for the dumb in the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction. Again, that word dumb, don't read it from a modern sensibility. It's talking about those who cannot speak with their own tongue. So he's saying, you as God's people, open your mouth and speak for those who cannot speak for themselves, in the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction, which is exactly what abortion is. We have to, speak for those who can't speak for themselves.
Yep.
Let's see if I've got any others. You guys know these, of course. Jeremiah 1:5, "Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nation." So God is forming them in the belly. We've got Psalm 139:13-14, "For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb." The safest place that a baby should be is inside of the mother's womb. That's
right.
literally what.
Now it's the most dangerous place.
Yeah. It's so backwards, In verse 14, "I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. So, all of this is God's, we're the image bearers of God. And you can, clearly see that. And here's the last verse, and then I'll let you guys just jump in on any of these. This is the one that really speaks from a positive note, because mothers do unfortunately murder their own babies, and it's traumatic, I think, for everyone involved, for the entire family, for the mother, for the father, for the extended relatives, but of course most especially for the one that's the victim here, which is the suckling child, or the baby in the womb. Isaiah 49:15. Can a woman forget her suckling child? Well, yeah, she did in a sense, right? That she should not have compassion on the son of her womb.
No, she didn't have compassion on that child.
Right. So instead of, remembering and caring and caressing and being a mother and protecting that baby and having compassion on that child that was going to be born with, and it was a son in this case, from what I understand, it was going to be a beautiful baby boy, but they had no compassion. But God says here, yea, they may forget, and they do. They may forget, yet I will not forget thee. So yeah. God is not forgotten. So feel free to jump in on any of that before we get to any other videos.
I like history. I can jump in historically wise if you want.
Yes, do.
Yeah. History speaking, the last nation, historically speaking, that promoted abortion was destroyed. That was the Grecian nations. Greece, promoted abortion, and then they was destroyed by the Roman Empire. And although the Roman Empire done some most wicked things, crucifixion, torture, and everything, the Roman Empire actually banned abortion.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, so the Greeks promoted abortion, they got destroyed by the Romans. The Romans banned abortion, and we still see the Roman Empire now, basically, in Italy and everywhere else, under a different name. But just shows you, any nation within 70 years that promotes abortion, vanished. The Greeks, 70 years after they promoted abortion, vanished, ceased to exist.
Wow.
How long has abortion been legalised? We're coming close to...
It's over 40 years, isn't it?
60. 60 years in this country. So 70 years. 70 years seems to be a factor for some reason. The Babylonians were getting there. They was wiped out. We know that. But the Greeks were promoting it. They got wiped out. The Romans destroyed them. And then now, lo and behold, in this country, 1967, do the math, add 70 years to that, and then you'll see how long we've got there.
Well, you see in the U.S., the Supreme Court case, Roe versus Wade, was January 22nd, 1973, which is about 53 years. And then finally, under, the leadership of President Donald J. Trump and his Supreme Court, that he basically got a majority, Roe was overturned. Of course, it goes back to the states, and now we've got, it's happening there still. But we've got like heartbeat bills, and there's different things that are helping, I believe. Though a lot of abolitionists disagree.
It's just profound that literally, you think all the evil that the Romans done, and they was evil. Some of the things they done, they never crossed that line of the evil of mass infanticide, about killing babies. So that shows you, if you think that the Romans were evil, we're now in a whole new level of evil. Because the Romans would not think of it, because they wiped out the Greeks, because they did think of it. What do you think is going to happen to us?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that's history. Some people think, oh, no, yeah, God winks now. God is winking. He's winking. That's all right. there's some things that cross the line. And I think, you know, go back to Moloch, cross the line, wipe them out. Go to Greece, cross the line, wipe them out. Babylon, cross the line, wipe them out. United Kingdom, wipe them out. What are you seeing? What is happening to Britain? Do you know what's happening to Britain? We're getting wiped out. Do you know what happened to Israel when they sinned and done things? In captivity they went under Babylon. What do you think Britain's been doing since 1967? Mass infanticide, wiping out babies. Do you not think God is not just winking at this? Do you think that God is deliberately letting a certain religion I can't mention come into our country to chastise our country for mass infanticide? I think that there's very big correlations between what is going on, legitimising child sacrifice, and what happens to a nation when it does it, and we are reaping what we're sowing.
Yeah, I mean, you can in the U.S. we get over 1 million, like 1.1 million babies aborted every year, every single year.
Yeah, but don't forget your population is exponentially much bigger than ours.
Right.
So 7 million abortions in Britain, 70 million. That's 10%.
You have 7 million abortions in Britain every year?
No, that's how many has occurred
over the course of that time.
So that's 10% of our population wiped out.
Wow. Yeah, and it really ties back to our previous live stream on, you know, mass migration and the problem of Islam in Europe. And while the West is being told and encouraged, greatly pressured and encouraged to wipe out its own population through this infanticide that we're witnessing, you've got Muslim families that are encouraged to have at least 5 children, if not more. Many more, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 children. And so we're seeing a demographics change in Europe. And eventually, if we don't heed the warning here in the US, so it's a real problem. You know, this is generational suicide. I mean, and you see the abortions clock here that I've been scanning. Oops, sorry about that. But there's a loud. I'm sorry, it's not loud. Blew my,
there's a loud bang.
Yeah, I just glitched because I'm AI. But you see that I was going to say the sheer volume, like this is like live, so you know, and
because you can see the numbers counting up.
It's counting up.
That's just this year.
Yeah, I mean, this is like taking the statistics of how many abortions happen. This is like more than 1 per second. This isn't ticking up slowly. More than a baby every second that we speak worldwide is being aborted right now. Like it seems like it ticked up even since we started showing it. It's just, you know, it's mind-boggling, and I think that judgment is being stored up. I don't know if it's the book of Revelation. I know there's a verse that says that judgment is being stored up unto the day of wrath, right? Unto to the day of the Lord. Like all of these babies, that wrath is being stored up. And when I began, you know, ministry and doing YouTube videos, like at the forefront of what I believed was the judgment of God upon America and the nations was abortion. Like it is like the number one thing that is going to cause judgment upon our societies, like we saw with the Greeks, and when Rome took over the Greco, it became the Greco-Roman world and everything. This is the judgment, right? So I just pray God has mercy on America and the world for the Christian remnant that are still, you know, living within and trying to follow God and trying to do His will. I mean, it's a scary scenario.
Well, and us speaking about it, we're doing what Christ commands. You know, we're trying to be salt and light. You know, we're not trying to incite violence or anything like that, but we are taking a stand that this is wrong. This is murder.
Yeah, it truly is. It's
Well, it is.
tragic.
And again, it get to a point. I don't know what the point is. Only God knows. But we see it all throughout Revelation, other places, where the voice of the martyrs, the death of the innocent, cries out to God daily. And this is the daily cry
Under the altar. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Do people honestly think that these babies being mass infanticized don't cry out to the Lord? Their blood,
Right.
that innocent blood shed. Do you think God doesn't know? As you said, you know, literally God, you know, in the womb he knows his children.
Yeah, their blood cries out, doesn't it? Like the righteous.
The blood is crying out. The blood is crying out. And
Yeah.
again, of course, mercy abounds, grace abounds, but we're at a tipping point now, I think, in civilization. We're not talking soteriology. We're talking civilization-wise, where the blood is crying out so much. I can't honestly believe that God is going to withhold much longer. And there's a day, there's a reckoning coming. That there's so that once the blood is filled to the point where God says enough is enough.
Right, to the
and
rim.
I think we're getting there. We are literally getting there. And like I said, wars, all these wars that are going on, they're bad, they're cruel, they're callous, a lot of blood being shed. But in comparison to the innocent blood being shed in babies, there's more killed a year by mass genocide of babies than there is all the wars if you had them all together.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You think 6 million Jews killed in concentration camps. How many babies you said killed this year?
Just 19 million worldwide.
19 million, and we're only in June.
Oh, wow. We're not even halfway through the year.
Yeah, we're halfway through the
about
year.
halfway. Yeah, we are halfway.
And fourfold as the baby's been murdered. We are in times that it's unimaginable. Yeah, and there is a exponential rise, like a snowball effect. It's not like, you know, abortions are easing up or slowing down. They're exponentially
They're increasing.
rising. The blood is rising.
Yeah.
And again, it's because of the wokeness in this sense, the brain deadness, like the same delusion that hit the Greeks and the same with the Babylonians prior to them. And before them, obviously, those, you know, pagans that sacrificed on Moloch. You know, yeah, that was bad. God dealt with that, but it weren't 19 million in 6 months. And I think it's got to the point exponentially where God is going to say, enough is enough. I'm not trying to scare people, but there's a point where God's saying, enough is enough. That the tears of these little ones, the innocents, their blood, is that even says their blood cries out. Their blood cries out. So they can't cry because they're in the womb, but their blood is still crying out. And 19 million in 6 months, this is disgusting.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's share another video. This is actually a more of a positive note. It's kind of like the warnings that we've been giving, or like the advice about you just don't know if those tests are even right. Let me play this.
When I was 20 weeks pregnant, my OBGYN told me to abort my daughter because she might have Down syndrome. If I was someone else who knew less about raising a child with Down syndrome, who had less community support, I know I would have felt that I needed to have an abortion. When your trusted doctor recommends an abortion, it instantly paints a bleak picture of your child's future and what you as a mother can do. My little girl and only daughter Esther was born at 38 weeks without Down syndrome and healthy. Over the years, I've run into dozens of other mothers who have had a same or similar situation happen to them where a doctor recommended that they abort their baby. Some had a misdiagnosis, and for some, their child did have a challenging diagnosis. But the one thing we all had in common is that when we were told abortion was the best option, we rejected it and embraced life, and none of us regret it.
Literally, no one regrets it. No one regrets it. So if by any chance someone's tuned in that sees the title and they're in that situation, we just beg you, beseech you, please don't abort your baby. You know, it's I've never Never, no one has ever had a baby that's regretted it. I mean, at least, you know, unless you're just absolutely crazy.
Well, right. And what about, you know, okay, you have the baby and once the baby's born, you know, God forbid it does have Down syndrome, and you feel like you cannot, you know, emotionally, mentally, financially care for the child, give the child up for adoption.
Right.
Why kill the baby? Let the child, because there's so many people that can't have children.
Exactly. And they'd be happy. And, you know,
Child,
there's
right.
plenty of people out there, you know, void of a baby and a life with a child. They'd be, I mean, extremely nigh jumping from joy that a child is offered to them to bring up, you know. And yeah, I don't believe there's, you know, a whole world out there filled with people that are not wanting for a child and would reject, you know, a disabled child just because they've got impediments or whatever. I don't believe that. And this is what frustrates me. You get so many women, you know, like Sarai and Rachel and all these others that were barren, they'll jump at the chance to have a child. And then you get another swathe of people out there that just want to kill. I don't understand it.
I don't understand it either. And like, why do people not just give their baby for adoption? Like, does anyone know? Like I really actually want to know from like mothers who might be in that situation. Like, it doesn't make logical sense. Is it just the emotional aspect of, or the difficulty? I guess if you're so narcissistic that you want to kill your child out of inconvenience, maybe you just don't want to go through the birth of the pain of childbirth.
That's like, you hit the nail on the head. It is a narcissistic, childish, woke generation that don't want to go through 9 months of carrying a baby and then go through the pain of birth, and that they'd rather just kill it as opposed to go through
easier. It's convenience, isn't it?
Convenience.
Yeah, I mean, that's just mind-boggling to me. And as we're talking, you know, we're looking at some of the videos of Down syndrome babies here, and it's just, look how beautiful and like happy and joyful. Like, these are human beings. These aren't just something to discard. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words when I see this. Like you said, you know, it's just when you see it, like, how can you just think, oh well, let's just kill that? You know, it doesn't make sense especially when
it's because people don't believe. I mean, people have been taught that, you know, we come from the goo to the zoo to you, that we're not created in the image of God, that we're just, you know, here by happenstance. We come from apes, you know, all the way back. And so the sanctity of life is not there. And plus that they don't even, right. They don't even believe that in the womb is actually life. And it's like, when you try to pinpoint, it's like, okay, well, when does that child actually, you know, when does that preborn child actually have life? Okay, if you don't believe it's at conception, does it happen like a minute before they come out of the birth canal? You know, and they can't give you an answer.
Yeah. Wow. It's just shocking. I mean, it really, that evolution, to them, it's a clump of cells, you know, I guess that's how they justify it in their minds. I don't even think, I mean, how can anyone really believe that it's a clump of cells?
I do. And this is what, do you know what, it was posed in this country years ago. That was, I think, Richard Dawkins, who's the big atheist bloke over here. And he described, you know, humans as a clump of cells. And someone said to him, okay, then, if we're just a clump of cells, if I pulled a gun out and shot you in the head, it shouldn't be murder. I've just shot a clump of cells. So just a clump of cells.
It seems like some
I'm-
actually, I mean, I know people that believe that. Like they genuinely believe that. So the question is, when does it not become a clump of cells? Like when does that
Right.
magic happen? Is it magical? Like where's the science behind that? That suddenly now it goes from being non-human to human? Like when does the soul
Or
enter?
then they try to say, okay, well, it's about when is it viable?
Right.
When could
Right.
it live outside the womb?
Yeah, it's all of those old arguments which are so easy to see through, and it's just all of it's all a justification. But I'm just in awe of all these beautiful babies that we're seeing on the screen here. Why don't we go to maybe as the last? This is I think the last clip I have, unless you guys have something as well. I want to go
Well,
to.
I wanted to bring back to, I wanted to go back to what he started 10 years ago. Can we do that, or would you rather skip
Yeah,
that?
yeah, we can do that. Let's do that. And I forgot about that actually. Let me pull that up. So give me a moment here.
I'm going. Let me just find it here.
Yeah, I have it somewhere on my playlist. So and I'll play a little bit of this. Let me find it here. So this is for people who don't know, and I'm not going to play this 15-minute horribly acted video. I don't know how people thought this was real. And you can see the contrast between what they did now does look real in comparison to this. But
do you want me to read the post that he made like 2 days later first? Because he gives all the context of what happened.
Yeah, go ahead and share that, and then I'll share
I got it down in the bottom.
I'll share like 30 minutes of the actual video afterwards to show you what a crazy person this guy really is. But so this is Jesse Ridgway.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Okay.
Okay, so can you see where it says 10 years ago today?
Yes.
Okay. 10 years ago today, I shot my father and fled to Switzerland with what I thought was $30K in cash. It wasn't the money was spent, I was spent, and I was on the run now. When I finally tasted freedom, I was faced with an immeasurable guilt for an unforgivable act. I killed the man who wanted me to be better, albeit in his own sick way. Don't ever do what I did because I have to live with that now. And I don't know if I can handle that, I said, pleading to my YouTube audience. The internet exploded as thousands of cop calls flooded in. The world watched in horror as the psycho kid confessed that he was leaving YouTube forever. We can all remember where we were and what we were doing the day that the Psycho series ended, the day that we all learned it was a scripted show. The camera fell. I hugged my family, thanking them for enduring hell with me, and then I dropped to the floor and wept. I felt immense relief that I could finally rid myself of this burdensome character, but I also was hit with tremendous sadness and grief that it was all over. This was my crowning achievement and homage to my childhood. I said goodbye to the kid in me. And odd poetry exists as my world has erupted again for a real tragedy. 10 years apart to the day. Fictionally killing my dad versus a dad faced with killing his son. The art will often mirror our real life in disturbing ways. That's a true expression of the soul. It's exactly why you found me. It has officially been a decade since the Psycho series ended, blah, blah, blah. But let me show you.
Before you leave that, Wendy, let me just explain a little bit the context, because a lot of people don't know his backstory and what this is necessarily about. So 10 years ago, Jesse Ridgway, the same, father, he is a father. He's just the father of a dead child now.
Right.
But he basically did a fictional, like what looked like a reality show series on YouTube, where he didn't tell people it was a show. He called it performative art. And he actually, through the course of the series, I haven't watched the whole thing. I just watched the pertinent clip, but through the course of the series, he actually, he's this troubled youth, and he gets into, he hates his dad, and it's all centered around how his dad treated him. And he actually fictionally ends up shooting his father. Like, they make it look real. He's got a gun. He shouldn't. We'll play that clip for you guys. But So you're telling me this is 2 days after the abortion, or is it 2 days after
that
the backlash?
announcement when he announced on Facebook to everyone that they aborted the child. But then that post about his series was to the day 10 years later.
Wow. Is that coincidence? Is it contrived? I mean,
That's
this is
why people are wondering if the whole thing
right
is like a recreation or trying to be a resurrection of the Psycho Kids series.
In order to get
another video
monetization and clicks and go viral with a scam. And yeah, I could see why they would think that. But is it quote, karma? Like, I don't believe in karma in the secular sense. I believe we reap what we sow. Is he reaping what he sowed? I mean, he talks about himself, fictionally killing his father. And now he, as a father, he admits to killing his son. Right. And
here's a video he did if you want me to screen share again, we'll just watch what he did, because he's recreating the Psycho series kid, but he's 10 years older. Let me share this. This like really freaked me out.
Gave me chills till when you read that, because it's disturbing. It chills and hairs up your spine kind of chills, like it's demonic.
Yeah, let me share it.
I mean, what a disturbed individual. Why you're getting that on, put on the screen. What a disturbed person.
Here it is. Okay, let me know if you're ready, and I'll just play 4 minutes, because a few seconds after 4 minutes, you're going to see the first super chat pop up. This man is monetizing. Okay. Now, at first, he's not saying anything. I mean, because I didn't watch the whole thing. This is almost 4 hours long.
Yeah.
But watch how he acts. And I mean, notice this room behind him.
Mm-hmm. And when is this? So we have the context. Is this after alleged
this was 19 hours ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Is there audio?
Yes. Can you hear it?
No. You probably just have to turn. It's probably muted somewhere. Also, are you able to hit the gear and put it at 1.2 speed?
Let's see. Well, now I have my headphones on. Maybe I need to send you the link and have you play it, because my husband's sleeping. I cannot play this over my speaker.
Yeah, send that to me and I'll share it. And maybe for further context, let me share the psycho killer video, the moment where he kills his father fictionally, doesn't literally kill him. Let me share that. And then
I put it in.
He posted this when?
19 hours ago.
Is he acting here?
Yes, he's acting. It just says time capsule 10 years later.
So he has time to act after killing his baby?
Right.
This is the mentality.
And he ends up talking to his mother, and he holds up a mannequin head. That was what was.
I'm still here. Oh, I never left.
Wait, he's supposed to be the character now?
Oh, yeah, he's that kid from 10 years ago
in
his series.
What do I do? Mom, what do I do? It's okay, Jesse. It's okay. Mommy's here.
See, this makes me think it is rigged, but I don't know.
Well, this part is rigged.
I think I think he's because he's had so much backlash of being so narcissistic and actually killing a baby. He's using this as to deal with the backlash. I still think
coping.
The baby was genuine, but he's using this as a ploy, as a backlash. That's what I think.
To try to get sympathy or something. Okay, so I don't understand, like, what is this mindset that after it's 2 days, so when did this abortion actually occur? Like a week ago, or like pretty recently, right?
Well, it was the 2nd of June that he posted on Facebook that they've made the decision. And then I believe in that same post that she's already had the procedure and she's on the mend fine. So,
and he goes,
when they were crying, that was like May 28th. That was just like right after the holiday weekend. And so somewhere between probably that week, because June 2nd was this past Tuesday. So within that week, she had the abortion sometime. And then on June 2nd, they post for the whole world to see that they did it.
I mean, this just isn't registering in my brain. Like, why your baby is dead, you're getting death threats, you're emotional, you're all this, and you're playing a character now.
And then you're doing this, and that's why people are like, because he eventually came out 10 years ago saying, no, this isn't real. This is just a character I'm playing. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people are like, he's going to come back and say this wasn't real either.
Right. I mean, I can see he's feeding the conspiracy. I hope it's not real. But at the same time, I mean, it's like either way, this is it's like evil, like wicked, like
demonic
bastard.
possession,
I mean,
or just mental illness, or I mean, it's evil. And how he's acting here is evil. He's acting like somebody that's mentally ill. He's talking to a styrofoam mannequin head.
Yeah, what is that?
Like he's crazy.
And it says, "I'm a psychopath." That's the character, right? But like, why is he bad? I guess it's maybe like what Bill said is like the only explanation I can think is some kind of coping mechanism, but in his weird narcissistic ways. He's getting more views and more clicks.
Right, because maybe it's a distraction so he doesn't have to face what he's done.
That's exactly what it is.
Wow.
That's exactly.
It's very bizarre. Let's play a little bit more.
They're in you. Listen to her, Jesse. You'll never be me.
It's a demons talking.
You're too much of a pussy. Oh, no, not Damien, please.
Heck?
No. Oh, that's right, Jesse. You thought I was gone, but here I am. All this time later.
Wow. This is psychotic.
Still,
it is.
Are just as pathetic as you ever were.
Oh, so is that supposed to be his dad? His dad talking to him?
Yeah, because remember, his dad's dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
No!
This is not how I would be reacting. This is so bizarre.
I'm not listening to you anymore.
Somebody commented on your channel. Jesse kept timing me out for calling him out.
Where are you?
This is somebody in the live chat, I think, that has had some interaction with this man. Possibly, because I don't recognize that channel handle.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, welcome to the channel, Mr. Krabs. Trying to read. Let me zoom in. Mr. Krabs, the Go Animate Crab 245. So yeah, I'm not surprised. I'd be curious what you said to him. Bad acting, yes, it really is.
Acting.
That's what it's
And then
C-rated.
a
It's not
little
even
past
B-rated.
4 minutes into the video, the first super chat comes up for $10. Right there.
Oh, wait.
$10.
Oh, I see it.
And of course, I didn't watch past this, so I don't know what other kind of super chats have come up. This man is profiting off of the death of his son.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who are the retards that are no offense to mentally disabled people, but who are the people that are donating money to this creep?
To patch through.
That actually looked like
we are right now.
the amazing atheist.
It's something that he
It looked like what, Bill?
The amazing atheist he used to be called.
Oh.
Big channel.
I told you. I told you.
Weird.
I told you, Damien. I told you I could talk to them again. I told you if I just kept
Channeling
faith,
the spirits.
believing,
This is demonic.
believing in this as a career, that I'd have you guys back.
Have you
Oh my
guys
God,
back
that's
as a
it.
career.
Jesse, they don't watch you anymore. You're washed up. Ever since your uncle went into that pool, nobody cares about you, especially not him. You ruined his life. Nope.
Oh, this
Here
is
you
part
are.
of a sympathy
We're back.
play too. Did you hear this?
We're back.
Nobody listens to you anymore.
Oh,
It's a sympathy play.
Wow.
what ails
Just
me?
constantly
Listen,
the
man,
victim.
Yes.
So very disturbing. I'll maybe silence and muted in the background for a minute while we talk, but so creepy, demonic, narcissistic. It's just wow. I didn't know that was
This is a
out
different
there.
type of Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah. Wow. Anything else on this guy, Wendy? Or
That's it that I have on. I just saw that and I'm like, okay, well, what's he done? Because he posted on Facebook, you gotta watch. The link is in the comments, and then I see this and I'm like, wow, this is like mental illness, demonic possession, something. This is like,
yeah, this is not normal. This is even though I know he's character acting or whatever. A week after he aborts his baby or so, however long. It's just weird. Weird.
The commenter replied.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Here, let's just share it. We'll read. What I said to him is that he needs to be more accepting of people, and other people kept saying abortion is not murder. And before you get mad at me for donating, I did that so he can see my message clear. Oh, you donated. You're the one who donated?
He did.
Am I understanding that right?
The super chat is what I can see messages is what I can see messages clearly, and I did that for him to see my message with the highlighted message. Okay. So apparently when somebody gives a super chat, you can give a message and it'll highlight on your screen. And so it's like, maybe I think what this person is saying is like, the only way I could get Jesse to see my messages, I have to give a super chat. And that's sketchy as heck too.
Yeah. Well, with the super chats, it's because these big channels like this, they're getting just like tons of comments, and the super chat helps it to stand out among the others. So okay, that I understand, but yeah,
that makes sense. You have to give money just for the person to see your message.
To see it, yeah.
Because
but it's
everybody, because if everybody is commenting in the live chat, it goes so fast that messages just disappear in seconds.
Right. Well, I hope you rebuked him and
rebuke you in Jesus' name.
yeah, rebuke the demons in Jesus' name.
Yes.
Well, we've been going a while. I'm going to share the last video for your comments and closing thoughts.
Oh, and then can I share my song too still, please?
Yes. Yes.
You'll have to play it though, because you won't hear it on my end.
Yeah. Can you put it down below like you do? Like, is it a video or a link?
Well, it's my video.
Okay.
But I'll send that to you.
Yeah, we're going to play Wendy's song, original lyrics and music by Wendy Lorraine we're going to do that as the outro for today. But let's go to our last video, which is we're talking about Iceland. And Iceland's Down syndrome. Basically, their level of, they have no Down syndrome in Iceland. And not because they've had some miraculous scientific breakthrough, but because they've literally aborted every single Down syndrome baby. So complete nihilism here when it comes to this culture. And the Nordic states, as Bill, great history between the Nords and the Vikings and England and everything. Bill knows very well about that. But sadly, they've become very godless, and we do pray that they get some Christ in their culture. But here we go.
In Iceland, Down syndrome is on the verge of being eradicated, and it's due in large part to the widespread use of genetic testing. But those screenings are raising some serious ethical questions. And that's because since the test began in the early 2000s, 100% of pregnant women whose prenatal screenings have come back positive for Down syndrome have decided to end their pregnancies.
100%.
Yeah. Do you notice? See Britain there, 90% as well.
Yeah. Denmark, 98%. We're talking
Are
about
also
the
seeing
Danes.
similar.
The Danes, 98%. Britain is third here at 90. France, 77. This is the more godless you become. The more you reject God, the more of a death culture. Then we see it right here in the United States, 67%. In the US, that's the overwhelming majority. You know, one day we may never see those happy, smiling Down syndrome babies again.
Trends across Europe as well. And while some soon-to-be parents see the decision as a way to prevent suffering, others argue that it's enabling a society where people can just pick and choose which children to bring into the world.
Why would you?
We have basically eradicated almost Down syndrome from our society. That is hardly ever a child born with Down syndrome.
En þau sjáu bara Down syndrome, ekki mig sjálf.
Iceland is a country of about 350,000 people.
It's a unique country because it's pretty much cut off to the world.
When you look at the landscape, it is breathtaking. And when you talk to people in Iceland, they will tell you it feels very much like the country is a giant small town.
Iceland only has one really main hospital, and it's in Reykjavik. It's called Landspítali University Hospital, and it's where every baby is born. It's also where every baby is terminated.
Wow.
About 80 to 85% of women want to have a Down syndrome screening.
The screening that's been called into question is called the combined test, and they take into account the mother's age, her previous health, and also as well an ultrasound.
Here at the hospital, we try to do as sort of neutral counseling as possible, but some people would say just offering the test is pointing you towards a certain direction. But on the other hand,
she admits it.
And women would come back to us if we hadn't offered it, and then they give birth to a baby with a problem, and they say, why wasn't I offered this test?
And what happens in this room? Here we have the termination of pregnancy. Here is where the abortion happens.
Helga, our counselor at the hospital, really showed the human impact of when someone goes through a termination of a pregnancy.
We allow them to, if they want to, and they can see the little one.
So after the abortion, you'll sometimes bring the fetus to her.
Yeah, so they can look at it and say goodbye and kiss it goodbye.
Wait, they bring the fetus, the dead fetus?
Fucking mentally ill. This is mentally ill shit.
My God.
This is real mental illness.
I'm shocked. I'm like, I am literally now at a loss for words.
Now you know what it's like in England. Don't come here.
Well, I was planning a visit to like see the great castles of Bebbenberg and all the different and
yeah. We've got some historical stuff here, but yeah, if you but don't come here if you think that
I'm afraid to come too. I mean, I know I'm hearing like the countryside's okay, but I'm also afraid of the the Islamification of Europe. But we've been planning a Europe trip, so we'll see. We'll come say hello, Bill, if we're in England for sure.
And so this is the imprint of the fetus that was terminated.
Yeah. And this is how much she weighed, 56 grams.
She explained this was one of the things that had been part of a family's grieving process. That was a prayer card. It was something that I wasn't sure what she was going to be pulling out. And the next thing I know, I see these footprints.
Footprints smaller than fingernail. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. It was their way of having something left over from that moment.
It's like they're not even hiding it. It's just in plain sight.
They're so sociopathic. It's like, yeah, well, that was down, so we sacrificed it to Odin and Thor.
Well, or it's like, well, the baby just naturally died of SIDS, and so, we're going to have some mementos. I mean,
I mean, they're not even saying it's a clump of cells and it's okay and their conscience is seared. They're actually trying to have these coping mechanisms to like, here's the little baby's footprint and the size of the nail. And it's like, maybe we'll name it. And
here's George. And George has Down. So we decided to kill her, get it sucked out the womb. But we took the footprints after it was sucked out the womb, stamped on there.
I mean,
Praise
because
Odin.
how are these
Praise
babies born if they're not pulled apart piece
Well,
by piece?
yeah, that's what it reminds me of, those abolitionist graphic pictures that everyone hates, seeing, is those body parts. That's just exactly what came to mind. The little, red and flesh colored baby parts, little limbs and toes and fingers that are pulled apart violently in the womb. And I guess they get fingerprints or footprints. I mean, this is
for Odin.
This is sick.
If they want to, they can have a priest who can help them with a little ceremony, saying goodbye.
Priest.
They're grieving, even though they took this decision.
In Iceland, it's genuinely accepted that a woman has the ability to have an abortion.
It's accepted. A woman has the ability. And look at this.
Oh,
and it's so they're literally coming out and admitting that it's a human life, but it's okay to kill it because it's Down syndrome.
Right,
So
because it's a defect.
Kirkjan hefur ekki verið með neina hreyfingu varðandi fóstureyðingar, hvorki í gegn þeim né með þeim, en það kann að vera að það sé til örlítill hópur í Íslandi sem að berjast gegn fóstureyðingu. En það mjög lítill hópur og mjög ósýnilegur hópur.
Oh wow! So here come the high Protestants, Bill.
Yeah, here comes the Anglican Church of Iceland, same as the Anglican Church here. Oh, we're not against it, we're not for it. And the ones who are against it are a small minority of haters, white extremists, evil haters. That's Christendom in this country. No wonder it's dead.
Oh man, the church that produced the King James Bible.
That's gone. That's gone.
Anointed with a woman pastor, bishop. That in itself, is an abomination. To
be neutral is to be enemy.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's what it is. You can't be neutral you could be a little bit neutral in politics, try and keep out of all the, ebbs and flows of politics. But when it comes to sanctity of life and real deep moral, ethical, positions and stuff, you can't be neutral.
Oh, well,
I
Bill,
can't be neutral.
we just lost 80% of the people watching for some reason. Are people offended at that we don't believe in women leading the church? I mean, we love women as a valuable part of the kingdom of God and co-equal with men in the sense of value and worth before God. But, the Bible is clear, the elders and the bishops who they're supposed to be. So interesting that maybe people were just tired. It's a long stream, but I found that interesting. Okay, let me go and let's get off this. Maybe she's making people drop off. Look at this. I better forward this.
Agnes Sigurdardottir is the first female head bishop of the Church of Iceland. She was a mother herself, and so she said because she has personal experience with having a baby, as she put it, grow inside her, she was able to kind of relate to mothers who might be going through that decision.
Því það náttúrulega það erfiðasta sennilega sem nokkur manneskja getur gert, það að þurfa að taka þessa ákvörðun hvort eigi að eyða fóstrinu eða ekki.
This pisses me off. When they say fetus, not baby, dehumanization right there.
Yeah, and I what struck me is she's wearing this big cross as she's speaking. I mean, the whole thing is just such a great apostasy.
Án samviskupits eða sektarkenndar yfir því sem hún
They
ákvað.
definitely don't have the conscience.
There's not many places in the U.S. where
Beautiful architecture. I wouldn't mind going to a church that looked like that.
the leader of a religion will come out and
But it's the inside that's foul, isn't it?
actually say that they support a woman's right to choose.
Thordis, she's very much about supporting a woman's right to choose. But what she thinks the government is doing is giving women an incomplete picture about what it means to have Down syndrome.
Okay, good.
What I'm criticizing
They've got the counterbalance here, so that's actually decent.
Yeah, still not quite a counterbalance because agreeing with a woman's right to choose, there's no choice.
There's no choice. Yeah. The framing itself is a false framing of the situation.
government is making this a policy. It's a policy about directing to women not to have this pregnancy. From a health official, for me, it's a strong indirect message what to do. And I think that's the major factor for this horrible statistic in this country.
She really is leading the movement against these screenings for this entire country.
authorities. It doesn't differentiate between Down syndrome and any other host of issues that people could have throughout their lives, alcoholism or propensity to commit crimes.
We said
she
the
places
same
Down
thing.
syndrome on that same spectrum, saying that you never really know what could become of your child.
Bill literally said that along with people in the comments.
There is a spectrum when it comes to people who have Down syndrome.
What you see in the media, you know, the little cute one, and they are so cute. But then a little bit further, then they say, yeah, 18-year-old boy with Down syndrome plus other problems is not maybe a good thing.
They are very different. Her brother is not like this. He has autism.
These are the things that do factor into a parent's decision whether or not to continue a pregnancy.
We never wanted to paint a picture that any decision that's been made, whether or not to keep a child with Down syndrome or to terminate a fetus with Down syndrome.
All life on Earth is rooted in DNA. You are messing with the flow.
Before we leave that, it's amazing too. They talked about that spectrum of Down syndrome that we mentioned also. It's not like, you know, you take that test and it shows that extra chromosome. It's not like, okay, now you've got a Down, syndrome baby to the point of what people would think of it as. It could be barely manifesting. It could be extreme. It could be very little. And people just abort their baby, or it could be a completely false positive as well.
Oh, yeah. And not only that, you have that spectrum with all humans, whether you're Downs or not, whether you're going to be good or bad or whatever. This is a ridiculous argument.
Yeah, it really is.
Of the most precious information on Earth.
Dr. Kari Stephenson was fascinating to me. His feeling was very much that we will have the ability to screen out more than just this one chromosomal abnormality.
If Iceland stands right now nearly at 100% with a screening process that is not as accurate as what the United States has and what other European countries are adopting, then you can only imagine as the technology improves where this termination rate is going to stay.
I'm concerned that we have been a bit heavy-handed in our genetic counseling because when you run into people who have children with Down syndrome, they love them dearly, and it is a complicated landscape. And I'm not going to fault women for aborting fetuses with Down syndrome.
It really is science versus nature. Do we want to eradicate?
Science, it's not science versus nature. It's wickedness versus God.
All these illnesses, all these abnormalities, all these disabilities from our society? Or what do these disabilities, what do these individuals, what do these people bring for the world we live in?
And I don't think that there is anything wrong with trying to prevent disease. I don't think that there is anything wrong with aspiring to have healthy children. But how far we should go in seeking those goals is really complicated decisions.
It's very dystopian, mad science, isn't it? That was the end of,
it's
of that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, tragic. So, we've been streaming for just over 2 hours. I want to give you guys any closing thoughts, comments that you might have, anything that if, I didn't give you a chance to share. And we also want to close with Wendy's video song. So maybe Bill, why don't you lead us here in the closing here, and then Wendy, if you want to just send me the link in the private chat to or did you already do that?
Already did. Yep.
Got it. I'll set that up while you guys share your closing thoughts.
Well, my closing thoughts is life begins at the very nanosecond of conception, always has, always will do. And, people are people. Some have issues with chromosomes, some have issues with whatever, eyesight, with temperament, with anything. That's called being human. And every human, I believe, is absolutely precious in the sight of God. And, sometimes, God suffers, these ailments and these issues, not to be spiteful, but perhaps even a test of humanity for the rest of us. How are we going to deal with this? Right, here's the situation. I know, the child born in you because of entropy and the fallen nature is going to have a missing part of a chromosome or an added part of a chromosome. And I want that baby to be born because I want to see what character you are. I want to see what character you are as parents. And I think, you know, many take up Harson will be weighed, measured, and left wanting. Because the decision I think God is saying is that, you know, I've suffered this to happen, and you've treated abominably what has been given to you. And he's seeing a whole generation of peoples that are so sociopathic, so psychopathic, so narcissistic. It's unbelievable. And it ought not be so, because all these parents from not just, you know, Iceland, which is the real extreme, but all around America and the North countries in Europe could have quite easily chosen and saying, no, we're having this child regardless. We live with the consequences. We're going to love the child because this child has been given us as a gift of God, and we're going to get on with life. That would have been the right decision for these people to make, and the right decision I believe God would have hearkened to, but we've been woefully short of that. And again, I'm very disturbing stuff, but I will obviously say, in spite and despite all this woefulness, despite all these abominable things that are going on, God's grace abounds above even that. So you're not past the pile. If you've done this thing and you've been abominable and you've killed a baby because you was flippant or narcissistic or whatever, forgiveness is still there. But, you know, again, the point is, I believe every child is precious, whatever the ailment. And we've seen ailments being going on forever. Ailments went on from the fall onwards. It's not as if it's a unique thing now. Ailments have always been. And families have got together, generally, and just made the best of what they got. Instead of being so selfish and making the best for me, I love me generation. They've made best for family, God, family. That's the difference between of old, when babes were born with ailments, and of now, when babes can't even be born with ailments. Absolute dystopian nightmare. I'll shut up with that.
It really is, Bill. It reminds me of Romans 5, what you're saying, you know, the challenges that were given by the Lord for a purpose and a reason. And it says in Romans 5, 3-5, and not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. And hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Ghost, which is given unto us.
Amen. That's the perfect way to end there. Perfect way to end there.
I'm getting bit by mosquitoes out here as dusk comes on, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Wendy, if you have any final thoughts, and we'll go in the outro with your beautiful song. It's the song about abortion.
Yes, it is.
Right?
And I wrote this song probably like 1.5 to 2 years ago. I just had such a heavy burden. I had the words for many years, and I just maybe didn't have the courage to like put it out there, but then I just really felt like the Lord was saying, no, you need to finish this. So I got the music done and got the vocals done, and so that's what you're going to hear today. The song is called The Silent Scream.
Amen. And thank you both. God bless you both for coming on for such an important topic as this, and can't wait to get back together with you shortly, and as soon as we can. I'm going to be out for a bit, for about a week. So if you don't see us go live for about a week, we're on vacation, and but we will go ahead and resume our streams shortly after, and I'll have Brother Bill and Wendy on soon. So God bless you all. Please pray for everyone on this panel, your families, our families, and the ministry of the Lord Jesus. So with that, God bless you both. Thank you again. And we'll play this out.
begin.
It's been note.
Will you let love grow? Do you even want to know? They say it is the mother's choice. Don't take her freedom away. What about the child growing inside? Where's that child's right to life? The silent scream you never hear, one that only heaven hears. A little girl or a little boy, did you even want to know? When will we say no more? What have we done? When will we take a stand? We have innocent blood stained on our hands, on the altars of sacrifice in the name of women's rights. It's where we have placed our children's lives. The silent scream you never hear, one that only heaven hears. Little girl, little boy, did you even want to know? When will we say no more? What have we done? When will we take a stand? We have innocent blood stained on our hands, on the altars of sacrifice, in the name of women's rights. It's where we have placed our children's lives. Who will be the voice of the silent scream? Will we ever take a stand when that knife slipped from our hand? Little girl, little boy, did you even want to know? Did you even want to know?